Donald Trump just threw Pete Hegseth under the bus, and clearly that act was so much work and so much energy for Donald Trump that he was a little tuckered out after, because Trump, who is now claiming that America is finally respected again on the world stage, took a little snooze. In between attacking his own cabinet members and declaring fake peace deals, Donald Trump is falling asleep before cameras, and it is no wonder no one is afraid of him, and none of our allies want to come to his defense. But someone who's really not getting Donald Trump's defense is Pete Hegseth, who looks like he could be the next cabinet official fired because Donald Trump is blaming him for this entire war catastrophe. We are going to get into that moment and Donald Trump taking a little snooze during his speech in Memphis. But I want to start where Donald Trump did, of course, out of his mind, losing control, and that's making up lies about the peace deal he's so close to striking with Iran.
So we are now having really good discussions. They started last night, a little bit, the night before that, and I think they're very good. They want peace. They've agreed they will not have a nuclear weapon, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll see. You have to get it done. But I would say there's a very good chance. And it began when I said that I won't be. We were planning tomorrow on shooting down some of their power plants, and we're going to hold that up. Hopefully, we won't have to do it. And hopefully we can make a deal that's good for all of us, including the Middle Eastern allies that have been very good to us, including Israel, that's been a great partner in this fight. They've really been a good partner in the fight. They fought hard.
You can really obviously tell that he's just making shit up, saying, well, quite frankly, there's a deal in negotiations and et cetera, and et cetera. And I think that we love et cetera. I don't know what that is. I think it's a gold crown, et cetera, is what they told me. I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it, but I think it's going to be fantastic. Donald Trump has claimed in the past week that he's negotiating with top level Iranian officials, but also that a former president called him up and told him he's doing a bang up job. And I can promise you all of those people are the same person. It's Donald Trump talking to himself, because that is the state of cognitive decline that he is in. He is just happily making shit up. And honestly, he's doing it, I think, because he thought he could game the markets this morning and see a little boost in the Dow, which did come, but it's built on a lie. And so when that lie is broadly known and reported, what's going to happen in the market? It is going to plummet again. And Donald Trump is to blame, although he wants to shift the blame and pretend that everybody loves him.
It's happening a lot. And now you walk down Washington, it's like everybody that sees me in Washington, we've been doing that another couple of months longer. Everybody sees me in Washington, they say, thank you, sir. Thank you. And I immediately know what. They could thank me for a lot of things. I said, are they thanking me for the economy? I know immediately.
The last time that Donald Trump was out in public in D.C., he got booed and protested to his face and called America's Hitler. Like, is that, oh, well, thank you, sir, and we love you, sir, and you're so great, sir. Yes, when Donald Trump has his, cougars at Mar-a-Lago partying with him over, seafood platters and, like women in giant cocktail glasses, sure, I bet those freaks come up and thank Donald Trump for allowing them to carry out crimes and reap the rewards of an imbalanced tax system that benefits the 0.1%. Yes, I'm sure those people love Donald Trump. But everyone else in D.C. and around the country fucking hates him, especially amid a war that nobody wants. Nobody wants, I guess, except for Israel and Israelis and anyone who's profiting off of it, which are lots of people around Donald Trump, actually. So I guess that very small group of un-American individuals definitely want this war. But I think Donald Trump is starting to wake up to the fact of how unpopular it is, because he's got a new person to blame. It's Pete Hegseth.
And then, unfortunately, I called Pete, I called General Kane, I called a lot of our great people. We have great people. And I said, let's talk. We got a problem in the Middle East. We have a country known as Iran that for 47 years has been just a purveyor of terror, and they're very close to having a nuclear weapon. We can keep going and get that 50,000 up to 55 and 60 is no end, or we can take a stop and make a little journey into the Middle East and eliminate a big problem. And Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up, and you said, let's do it, because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon.
Journalist Aaron Rupar wrote on Twitter in response to Donald Trump, Trump blames Hegseth for the war. Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up. You said, let's do it. Pod Save America host John Favreau also jumped in saying, Hegseth about to give his next press briefing from under the bus. Yeah, Donald Trump is clearly blaming Pete Hegseth, and as we can see, it kind of took all the energy out of little Donald. He was so tired after working up the strength and the courage to blame Pete Hegseth that he decided he was going to take a little snooze for little Donald. This is where we are at right now, and it's even funnier that Donald Trump fell asleep after saying that Pete Hegseth is the real reason that we're at war, because of what he followed that up with. Now, I want to talk more about the implications for Hegseth, but we have to look at it in the frame of the ridiculous statement that Donald Trump just made right here, before he made another statement that brings back attention to the Epstein files. It's just a lot.
Everybody knows we have the greatest, most powerful military in the world, and we're in a position that we haven't seen. We're respected. You know, our country now is respected all over the world. A year and a half ago, we were a laughingstock.
We're respected on the world stage, says the man who cannot keep his eyes open at 2 p.m. in the afternoon on a Monday, and is throwing his Secretary of Defense under the bus, and is whining that none of our allies will come and defend us. And why would they? You know, I saw Adam Ockler, my good friend, on CNN. By the way, you know, Adam and I share a birthday, like the same exact birthday. We were born on the same day, twins. What's up? Love you, buddy. But Adam was debating this fucking idiot, this girl on CNN, who was like, well, they're not our allies if they don't come and defend us. Yes, defend us if we're attacked. But we attacked. We started a war that apparently is over, but is also continuing forever. So why would you want to get on board with that? Why would anyone go on a suicide mission for Donald Trump, who is promising nothing in terms of a concrete objective in this war, or an end goal, or an end point? What are we accomplishing? Why would anyone get behind that guy? He's willing to throw Pete Hegseth under the bus. I'm sure he will throw our allies under the bus. And this comes after months and months and months of chastising every single ally that the United States has, saying that they're abusing us and we never get anything from this partnership. And when we need something from a partnership, Donald Trump's like, why does everybody hate me? Maybe it's because of your behavior, the consequences of your actions. Have you just now realized that that's a thing? I know you've avoided prison countless times for countless crimes. I'm not just talking about those 34 indictments. I'm talking about the Epstein files, which, speaking of which, I did tell y'all that Donald Trump made an Epstein-y statement during his little meltdown. Yeah, what else would you call what he said right here?
We have people working in the White House, young women. They walk, I would say normally beautiful young women. Ever since I got elected, I don't like to say that, because usually when you say a beautiful woman, isn't she beautiful? That's the end of your political career. So I never say that. But young women.
Why does he keep doing this? Why does he always insist on just saying, we love young women, and it's the thing that we love the most, and you can't say that, but I'm gonna. And they don't like it when you say that. I don't know why they don't like it when Donnie hits on a 14-year-old. They get upset. What is that about? We just need to stop being so politically correct. Politically correct is the word, the phrase that the right uses when they're upset that people don't excuse their horrible, antisocial, weird behavior and the crimes that they commit. That is the framing that Hegseth and Trump and a lot of his stooges have used for the war crimes that we're carrying out. When we kill 160, 170 schoolgirls in Iran, it's not a war crime anymore. It's not acting politically correct. That's what they call it. Donald Trump either hates young girls, apparently, or loves them way too much. And it is disgusting on both ends, right? I don't know if y'all have seen that meme where it's like, how much do you love children? And it's like Israel on one end, because a lot of pedophiles over there. And on the other end, it's also Israel, because all they do is kill kids as they carry out genocide. And that is the same thing for Donald Trump. No wonder he loves Netanyahu so much. No wonder he loves Larry Ellison so much. No wonder he loves Miriam Adelson so much. No wonder Donald Trump loves Israel so much. They've got a lot in common. That is Donald Trump. And it's not a politically incorrect or politically correct or whatever term you want to use or whatever way we're saying it, war. We weren't fighting politically correct anymore. The same way Lindsey Graham's like, well, why don't we just nuke Iran? Making comments about Iwo Jima, tens of thousands of service members died. And Lindsey Graham seems to not care. And when Donald Trump talks about politically correct war, what he's not thinking about, what he's disregarding is international law. And you always see psychos bring up World War II. Say, oh, well, what about what we did in Japan? What about what we did in Germany? Yeah, and then we created the rules of war after, which Donald Trump and Israel love to violate, by the way. Love to. But with all of this said, what is Donald Trump's real focus in this moment? Yes, it's throwing Pete Hegseth under the bus. Yes, it's dreaming of a Big Mac in public with the cameras on him. But what else is Donald Trump focused on in Memphis? I'm going to let you take a guess.
Home of Graceland. You know I'm going to see Graceland after this? I think. Is that right? I love Elvis. I never met Elvis. Everyone said, did you? I met them all. I met Sinatra. I knew all of them. I never met Elvis. Sometimes I feel I should tell the little fibs that I knew him well. I love Elvis, but I never met him. But I'm going to go see Graceland after this, I think. I'm sure it's not going to be a very long stay, but I want to see that.
And we said, we love Elvis, and I bet Elvis loved me because I'm a great guy. And he would shake his legs, and I have cankles, so I think we're pretty similar, and we love to be similar. People can't afford food or rent. Air travel is exploding in cost because Donald Trump is exploding the price of oil at the same time as he makes TSA lines longer by refusing to fund TSA, at the same time as he is sending ICE to harass and arrest people at the airport. And he is bragging about the vacation that he's taking. The President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, talking about how much he loves young women and how people get upset with him for saying that and how it's so unfair and how he's really stoked to go see Elvis's house. That's what Donald Trump is doing today. And groceries are still expensive.